Hello there, and welcome to Sleepy Nights. This is Kevin. Tonight, we'll journey back to the ancient times of the Mayans. The great plaza of Palenque stretches before you in the golden light of late afternoon, its polished limestone surfaces reflecting the dying sun. You hurry across the courtyard, the leather satchel containing your writing materials bouncing against your hip. Today marks the beginning of your training as an astronomer-priest under Master Akbal, the most revered star reader in all the kingdom. The dry season has arrived, bringing clear skies, perfect for celestial observation. Around you, the town bustles with evening activity. Nobles returning from court, merchants closing their stalls, children playing bowl games while mothers grind maize for evening meals. The scent of copal incense drifts from household shrines, mixing with the earthy smell of the surrounding jungle. The palace tower rises before you like a mountain of carved stone, its multiple levels reaching toward the heavens. You begin the long climb up steep stone steps, worn smooth by countless priests who have made this journey over centuries. As you ascend, you pass walls covered in inscriptions, the history of Palenque's rulers, their great deeds, astronomical events marking important moments in the city's past. Slowly, young scribe, comes a voice from above. The stars will not flee before you arrive. Looking up, you see Master Akbal watching your approach. He's a man of perhaps 60 years. His face is deeply lined by decades of squinting at celestial objects. His dark skin marked with tattoos mapping important star positions. His cotton robes are dyed the deep blue of midnight sky, with red borders representing the blood of time itself. Most striking are his eyes. They seem to reflect starlight, even during the daytime. Master, you say, catching your breath as you reach the top level. I come as summoned, and as eager as a jaguar cub, he observes with amusement. Good, good. The heavens reward those who approach with proper hunger for knowledge. He gestures for you to follow. Come, Let me show you where gods and mortals can speak together. The observatory takes your breath away. The chamber is perfectly circular, its walls pierced by windows positioned with mathematical precision to frame specific celestial events. Through the eastern window, you can see exactly where the sun will rise during the spring equinox. The western opening captures the setting sun during important ceremonies. Smaller windows track the movements of the Noack, the great star of Venus. In the center stands a low altar covered with instruments, both practical and mystical. Crossed sticks of polished hardwood for measuring star positions. Obsidian mirrors that can reflect even the faintest celestial light. Jade and shell counters for calculations. Bark paper lies open, pages covered with red and black glyphs recording centuries of observations. Our ancestors built this place as a conversation chamber, Akbal explains, running his hand along a precisely cut window frame. Here, we listen to the gods speak through the dance of stars and planets. Every movement has a meaning. Every cycle carries messages about proper timing for planting, ceremonies, war, peace. He moves to a wooden chest inlaid with shell and obsidian, withdrawing a piece of bark paper covered with astronomical tables. This records the movements of Noack, Venus. For thousands of years, our people have tracked its cycle. The planet follows precise patterns that allow us to predict when it will appear as a morning star or evening star, far, far into the future. As the sun begins to set, other astronomer-priests arrive. Itzel, an elderly woman whose eclipse calculations have never failed. Kinich, who specializes in tracking Mars through its wandering path. Balam, Akbal's senior apprentice, shows you how to arrange observation instruments with reverent care. We begin each night by honoring those who give us light, Akbal says, lighting a clay brazier filled with copal resin. Sweet smoke rises in spirals, carrying prayers to the Creator God who rules the heavens. The ritual feels ancient and powerful, connecting this moment to countless generations of stargazers. As twilight deepens, the first stars appear, and your pulse quickens with anticipation. Venus emerges low in the western sky, brilliant as a tiny sun. Akbal hands you cross sticks, precision instruments for measuring star positions. Your hands tremble slightly as you take them. Place your eye here, he guides. Align the sticks with Noack and that bright star near it. Good. Very good. Now we mark the exact position on our star chart. Working together, you learn to transfer observed positions onto bark paper, painted with a grid representing the sky. Each measurement must be precise, each mark carefully placed. Your concentration is so intense, it feels like holding your breath underwater. Noack tells us many things, Akbal explains as you work. When it appears as a morning star, it favors new beginnings. As an evening star, it calls for reflection and ceremony. But most important, it guides the timing of war. Our kings consult Venus before any military campaign. The night deepens, revealing more stars that fill you with pure wonder. Akbal teaches you their names and stories. The Scorpion constellation rising during rainy season, the turtle stars marking time for planting maize, the 3 hearthstones where gods built the first fire at creation. Each constellation carries layers of meaning: agricultural, ceremonial, mythological. Listen, Akbal says suddenly. From the jungle below comes the deep call of howler monkeys. Even the forest creatures know the rhythms of sky and earth. They call it sunset, at midnight, at dawn. Their voices marking the time like the priests. Other jungle sounds join the symphony. Night birds begin their songs. Insects create rhythmic choruses. Somewhere a jaguar roars. The entire rainforest becomes a living timepiece, its sounds marking the passage of hours. Akbal says, when observations are complete. Now, you will see where time itself is born. He leads you down stone steps to a deep chamber within the palace. The sacred room where calendar calculations are performed. Oil lamps flicker along walls, casting shadows on tables covered with bark books and calculation boards. Here, generations of astronomer-priests have worked out the mathematics that keeps Maya civilization synchronized with cosmic time. Time is not a straight line, Akbal explains, settling onto a woven mat before a calculation table. It is a river that flows in great circles, returning to where it began, always. What was, is, and will be again. Our task is to read these cycles. He opens a codex filled with numbers and astronomical tables. This is the heart of our knowledge, the long count calendar. We track time from the day of creation itself, counting each day since the gods set the cosmos into motion. The Maya use a counting system based on 20, with only 3 symbols: a dot for 1, bar for 5, a shell for 0. With these simple tools that calculate cycles spanning thousands of years, you learn the sacred calendar interlocks with the solar year like cosmic gears. But why do the gods speak in numbers, you ask? Akbal smiles, his eyes reflecting lamp flames. Because numbers are the language of perfection. The gods created the world according to precise principles. When we understand these patterns, we participate in divine knowledge. As the night progresses, you begin your first calculations under his guidance. You learn to predict when Venus will rise as morning star, to calculate the date of the winter solstice, to determine favorable days for ceremonies. But then, you make a crucial error. Excited by the work, you miscalculate a Venus position. The mistake affects your other calculations. Stop, Akbal says, reviewing your work. Do you not see the problem, young one? Your heart sinks as you realize your mistake. The Venus calculation. I counted wrong. Precision is everything, he explains patiently. One small error corrupts everything that follows. This is why we check and double check. Why we work slowly and carefully. Starting over, you work with new respect for accuracy. This time you proceed carefully, checking each step. When you complete the calculations correctly, relief floods through you. Yes, much better, Akbal approves. Now you're learning to think with cosmic precision. Tomorrow brings a special test, Akbal announces as midnight approaches. The sun will pass directly overhead at midday. The zenith passage. Now, if our calculations are correct, a vertical stick will cast no shadow at exactly noon. This happens only twice a year at our latitude. You spend the remaining hours learning to use instruments that will measure tomorrow's crucial event. Water clocks that mark time by steady dripping. Sundials aligned with cardinal directions. Sticks that track shadow lengths. Your hands shake slightly as you practice. Everything must be prepared perfectly. For the king himself will witness your prediction. As dawn breaks, you and Akbal climb back to the observatory's highest platform. Venus appears as a morning star exactly where your calculations predicted. In the distance, howler monkeys begin their haunting calls. And the city below stirs to life. Watch closely, Akbal says, pointing to the horizon. This is the moment when night becomes day. Every dawn is a small creation. The sun rises precisely through the window frame designed to capture its light. The alignment is perfect, the result of centuries of careful observation and architectural planning. You realize the entire palace is itself a massive astronomical instrument. As morning progresses, crowds gather in the plaza below. Word has spread that today brings the zenith passage, and people want to witness this proof. Nobles arrive in their finest regalia. Merchants close their stalls. Even children stop their games to look upward. Your stomach churns with nervous energy as you make final preparations. The water clock must be perfectly calibrated. The measuring stick perfectly vertical. As you do your final checks, your heart stops. And you look at the stick. The shadow it casts seems slightly wrong. "Master," you whisper urgently. "Something's not right with the angle." He examines the setup quickly, his experienced eye catching what you missed. "The base stone shifted in the night rains," he murmurs. "Quick, help me adjust it." Working frantically, trying to appear calm, you and Akbal make subtle corrections to the instrument placement. Sweat beads on your forehead despite the morning cool. If the measurement fails publicly, it won't just be your failure. It will cast doubt on all astronomical predictions. Near noon, the king himself appears on the palace steps, accompanied by his court. He is powerfully built, wearing jade and feather regalia, marking him as the living embodiment of the maize god. His presence transforms the event from scientific observation into sacred ceremony. Young one, the moment approaches," Akbal announces, checking the water clock one final time. In the plaza below, the vertical pole stands steady, its shadow growing shorter as the sun climbs toward its zenith. By our calculations, the shadow will vanish at precisely the count of 12. The crowd falls silent. You feel the weight of centuries of astronomical tradition resting on this moment. Your hands tremble as you watch the shadow shrink. "Now," Akbal says. In the plaza below, the shadow disappears. The pole stands in perfect vertical light, casting no shadow at all. A murmur of awe rises from the crowd, and the king nods his approval toward the observatory tower. Relief washes over you like cool water. "Well done, young one. Young astronomer, I should call you," Akbal says, placing his weathered hand on your shoulder. "You have participated in the eternal dialogue between earth and sky. The gods have spoken through you today. The success marks your acceptance into the community of astronomer-priests. Over the following weeks, Akbal teaches you to create your own astronomical codex, painting observations in traditional red and black inks. You learn proper glyphs for celestial events, notations for recording cycles, interpretations that guide royal decisions. Each mark will make you connect to all who came before and all who will follow. Akbal explains as you work on your first official observations. This knowledge belongs not to us alone, but to all generations. We are the guardians of time itself. As weeks pass, your skills grow. You learn to predict eclipses months in advance, to track Mars through its wandering path, to identify variations in Venus's cycle. The work becomes calming, each night's observations adding to the great tapestry of cosmic knowledge. One evening, as you sit with Akbal watching stars emerge in the darkening sky, he shares the deeper purpose of your studies. Look around you, he says, gesturing toward the plaza where people light evening fires, toward temples where priests perform sunset rituals. All of this, our entire civilization, moves in harmony with cosmic time because we maintain the calendar. The gods speak through celestial movements and through us, the people here. The responsibility feels enormous, but also deeply, deeply satisfying. You are becoming part of something larger than yourself. A tradition stretching back to the first Maya, who looked up at the night sky and began to see patterns in the celestial dance. Months later, during your final test, you successfully predict the rising of a major star. Its first appearance after being too close to the sun to observe. When the star appears exactly when and where you predicted, Akbal formally recognizes you as a qualified astronomer-priest. Now your real education begins, he says with a smile. For the stars have infinite patience, and their teachings never end. As another day ends, and you climb the palace steps for the evening observations, you reflect on how much has changed since your first nervous ascent. The instruments that once seemed mysterious now feel familiar. The relationships that once confused you now reveal elegant patterns. Star maps that once appeared random now tell coherent stories. Standing in the observatory, as the first stars appear, you You understand that you've become part of an unbroken chain of knowledge stretching back over 1,000 years. The same stars that guided your teachers now guide you. The same principles that helped Maya astronomers predict eclipses continue their eternal accuracy. Above you, Venus emerges as an evening star brilliant against the deepening sky. You automatically calculate its position, predict some future appearances, consider its implications for upcoming ceremonies. The work has become second nature. A dialogue between mind and cosmos that brings both scientific satisfaction and spiritual peace. As the night deepens and more stars emerge, you settle into the patient rhythm of observation that will define your life's work. Each measurement precisely recorded, each calculation carefully checked, each prediction offered humbly to judgment. Around you, the jungle night comes alive. Monkeys, birds, insects, creating rhythms unchanged since the Maya first looked up at these same stars. In the distance, the lights of Palenque twinkle like earthbound constellations. Cooking fires, temple braziers, oil lamps, and noble houses. The entire city moves in harmony with rhythms that you help maintain. Tomorrow will bring new observations, new calculations, new opportunities to read the language of the gods written in light across darkness. But tonight, as you record Venus's position, you feel the deep contentment that comes from finding your proper place in the cosmic order. The stars wheel overhead in their eternal dance, mathematical and mystical, predictable yet magical. And you, a young Maya astronomer-priest, this great city, have learned to join that dance, to read its patterns, and to help your civilization maintain its harmony with the very pulse of time itself. The gods speak through the movements of celestial bodies, and you have learned to listen. In the silence of the observatory, surrounded by tools of astronomical observation, connected to centuries of accumulated wisdom, you continue the sacred work of reading time itself, written in the eternal language of the stars.